Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was just studying my notes in a notebook. I want to do well in my classes, so that way I have the best job opportunities after I finish school. And I'm pretty sure you all want the same, right?
Correct!
Attending class is necessary to get these stellar grades. But is simply showing up enough to get the grades that you want?
No!
Being enrolled in so many courses, it's hard to remember everything that the professor says during his or her lecture. And how many times has this been you during an exam when reading the questions?
What is our carrying charge for all the merchandise in the warehouse?
Oh, man.
1.5%.
I knew that. Why can't I remember it?
You most likely couldn't remember because of your subpar note-taking. So how do we as students take better notes in class and really absorb the information from the lecture and do better on the exams? Go out and get yourself a pen,
one of the most permanent of all writing utensils,
and a notebook. Handwriting lecture notes in a notebook is the most effective note-taking strategy for us students for three main reasons. First, taking notes by hand increases the student's cognitive engagement in class by encouraging active listening. Second, it creates repeated exposure to the lecture by taking advantage of the hand-eye-brain neural connections of the student. And third, it activates the student's spatial memory for optimized information recollection. Recent research conducted by UCLA professor Daniel Oppenheimer and Pam Mueller, a graduate student from Princeton, found that students taking notes by hand had, in the short term, a better conceptual understanding of the TED Talks that they were presented. This is due in part by the fact that handwriting notes takes more time than typing on a keyboard. As a result, students' handwriting notes had to actively paraphrase the lecture, constantly thinking about what was being said. On the contrary, laptop users tended to mindlessly transcribe the lecture, writing down verbatim what was said. Its long-term advantage of remembering factual information was seen in a similar study conducted by the same researchers. Students took their notes on the TED Talk. A week passed. They came back and were given 10 minutes to review their notes before taking the quiz. Students taking note by hand outperformed those taking notes on a laptop in both factual and conceptual information recollection. Oppenheimer and Mueller hypothesized that since handwriting takes more time than typing, students are forced to only write down key aspects of the lecture. The neuroscience behind the physical act of writing is one of the often overlooked benefits of handwriting class notes. Hearing what is said, paraphrasing what is said, and then seeing and feeling oneself forming those words that were said on paper prompts for more brain activity than simply typing up the lecture.
New discovery.
So even as we increasingly use these little gadgets to type out everything, there is a new body of science showing that handwriting is good for us when it comes to learning. Whether it's your kids learning letters, the act of actually writing it can aid them in remembering and retaining those letters. Whether it comes to idea, comprehension, expression, that as well. Some physicians...
The criteria that has been posed thus far could easily support any type of handwritten notes, including those written on a tablet. However, unlike keeping notes on a tablet, writing in a notebook activates a student's spatial memory. Writing notes in a notebook allow the student to create a physical map of the information in his or her mind. This is very beneficial to the student because a study published in the Journal of Verbal Learning and Verbal Behavior found a direct relationship between location memory and substantive content memory. Handwriting lecture notes in a notebook increases cognitive awareness in class by encouraging active listening, takes advantage of neural connections between your hand, eyes, and brain, and activates your spatial memory when studying. And all of that lets you elevate your grades.